Hey guys, it's General Heat here. How's everyone doing today? So, for today's video, got obviously something more different than I think we've ever done before. So, McDonald's recently released like a new meal called Grimace's Birthday, and it's pretty much just a regular Big Mac meal or 10-piece nugget meal with a purple milkshake, or Grimace's milkshake, or whatever it's called. I think it's berry flavored, I forgot. Let me see real quick. Yeah, it's actually berry flavored. It tastes pretty good actually. But anyways, to go along with this, McDonald's actually released a new Game Boy game to go with the Grimace's birthday meal, and you can actually download it or play in a browser as well. In fact, I think for most people it makes sense to play it in the browser. But I wanted to play on an actual Game Boy and see what it's like on actual hardware. So let's start it up and let's take a quick look. Alright, so those are the boot screens, and let's get started. And here we have Grimace's birthday. It's technically a Game Boy Color game made by Cruel Toys, I think the studio's called, and published by McDonald's. And if you do download the ROM file and you have a way to load ROM files onto actual Game Boys, Game Boy Colors and Game Boy Advances, and probably even the DS, it actually works and looks pretty cool. So there's even a bit of a story to it too, like a campaign mode. Okay, here we are in game. It's really hard to play with one hand, but basically, okay, that's not gonna work. Let's try like this. Okay, so I can't jump, but basically supposed to skate around and grab like those milkshakes that you see over there, and then yeah, I gotta jump up and get them, but I can't press the A button right now, so that's basically all there is to the game. You're just like skateboarding around as Grimace, and you're trying to collect milkshakes and avoid obstacles.
Okay, so this is the browser version of the game, and this is probably the version that most people are going to want to play rather than loading it onto an actual Game Boy. I mean, it works fine on a Game Boy, and it's actually really cool on that. And, you know, the fact that these games are still technically still being made, it's pretty awesome. But, of course, the browser version is cool, too, and the whole website, as you can see here, is set up to be like something out of like the 90s, like the very early days of the internet. You can see like all the just all like the ads on it and everything for like the ringtones for your phone and all that. It's just like very like early like internet style and everything like that. But the actual game does run in like what I assume is an emulator in the browser, and it's the exact same game, but it's obviously more optimized, I guess. Well, not really optimized. It's just nicer to play in a browser, and you can play on your phone as well. So it's a lot more convenient this way than loading it onto an actual Game Boy hardware. So same thing. We're just gonna quickly speed through this intro, and then I'll show you a little bit of gameplay, and that'll wrap it up for this video. But yeah, I mean, within the there's other features of this website as well, and I'll post a link here in a second if you want to try it out too. But it's a fun little game to pass the time. I struggled a little bit with this for some reason. I hit like every single obstacle, even though I tried my hardest to like avoid them. And yeah, I'm sure like there's something else I could have done, but I don't know. I just hit every single obstacle, almost every single obstacle. But I did complete the mission, and it's like I said, it's kind of fun, and it could pass the time if you got nothing else to play. But this isn't gonna be like game of the year or anything like that. It's more of like an interesting game, and it's a huge like throwback to the early to the 90s basically, and to the Game Boy era. So you know, it's pretty cool that McDonald's did this. But like I said, this isn't gonna replace like the next Call of Duty or Halo game or anything like that. Unless you really like these kind of games, then sure it could replace those. But that's basically, I mean, what this game is for, just to kind of like a little bit of a nostalgia factor to it, and also to help promote their new Grimace's birthday meal. But as you saw there, I did kind of hit like almost every like trash can or whatever that was we're supposed to avoid. But I did actually end up beating this mission, and as you can see, I got all the collectibles. Perfect score. Although my time could have been better.